The one y'all are. You ready for this war and to become an officer?
Come.
When that shit drop, you step all the way on they
Step up.
neck and they head with
Come.
Fine then, I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel, he nice but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. They mad, I'm too solid, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. No, they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rank for real. I got real soldiers, kill for me, nigga, watch yourself. They said you been in beast mode lately, you is not yourself. When you dropping that fire, precious marriage, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspiring. Cross the line, them firing. This bitch here, finna break the spin. No kindness, I don't trust you, circle fall. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. In the field like Jeepers Creepers. Say they want some smoke, dawg. So I brought these chimney sweeps. Ain't coming like we coming, you can't even cap. These niggas don't run it like we running, bitch, don't even start. Bitch, I'm with my niggas till the end, till them do us part. If you wanna leave, you can leave, bitch. Bless your heart, fine then. I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel, he nice but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. I heard they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rank for real. Take over in effect, yeah, I'm fully focused. You might not see it on me, just know it's women, that bitch fully loaded. Ooh, yeah, we up and rolling. Told them I need major motion. Think I'm joking, I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jody. Got it out the dust, now I'm too clean, don't know why they hate me. What you want out life, dawg? Guns and butter, baby boy.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my houses. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home. Only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage is safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom, we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. and sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cocktail. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. Devils design fire for our babies to pass through it. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my people. Yes, you said so. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Yeah. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Brakatham. Yahweh Shemar Aladad Bashim Yahushua is priest and also Tawashah with the Isupk. Started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Jeniana. We've been teaching the truth of the Bible since 1969. All right, so today is the Tuesday night Brotherhood class. Every single Tuesday we broadcast live out here in Orlando. I'm currently filling in for Isupk right now. You know what I mean? You know, that brother be doing a hell of a job. So I figured I'll fill in for the brother, and teach tonight's class. But every day we broadcast live from Orlando. We out there in the library in downtown Orlando. Make sure if you want to join us live, contact our information that's posted on our social media sites, and we'll get you right. All right. So of course, starting out, I do have the sign-in sheet posted in the YouTube link. If you're new in the school looking to get your Hebrew name, make sure you click on the link, fill out the information so that way you can get credit for today's class. Also, if anybody's looking to join the actual live, also got it posted in the YouTube chat, so you can click on that link. Any officer of 50, any trooper, any brother or sister that wants to join, you want to ask a question direct, you can click on the link. You want to read, add your 2 cents, you're more welcome to do so. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna allow y'all to get yourself situated. Give y'all a few seconds, get your pencils, your papers, notepads, whatever you need to take notes. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I know we have the mandatory class every Monday. Also Gazaktam, I'll be doing a hell of a job on there. But if you wasn't able to get your question answered yesterday, you can feel free to ask today, and I'll try my best to answer the question. If not, we'll jump into the topic. All right, y'all. So I'll give y'all a few seconds, and then we'll keep it moving. All right. All right. Shalom, everybody. Good to see everybody on here. It's kind of been a minute for me, but Glad to see everybody on here. All right, since there's no questions, we'll dive into the topic for today, y'all. As a matter of fact, let me ask y'all a question, all right? What chapter and verse where Christ stated that if you have a ought against your brother to go to them and them alone? What's the chapter and verse? Let's see if anybody knows. Book, chapter, and verse where Christ stated in the Bible, if you have any issues, grievance, or any oughts with your brother or sister, to go to them alone. Anybody know? Anybody know? All right, give y'all a few more seconds, and I'll give y'all the answer. Okay, Most High in Christ. It's a vital scripture. You know, it is something that we definitely should keep in our memory. You know what I mean? Make sure we memorize it. All right. Anybody know? Anybody know? This scripture is the foundation of the Isupk. All right. Uh-oh. Oh, we got some answers. Correct. All right. Trooper Amon and Tinker, correct. You know what I mean? Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. All right. So I'm going to go there real quick. We're going to read that as a quick refresher. You know what I mean? And like I mentioned, this verse right here is the cornerstone, the foundation of the Isupk. It's the only way we're going to ever find success in building this nation, right? If we want to build up this nation, we've got to make sure that we keep a certain code of conduct between each other. You know what I'm saying? So when I say build this nation, I'm talking about the nation of Israel, right? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people make up the 12 tribes of Israel. This is who we were prior to slavery, right? It's only due to slavery is where we lost our identity. This is why we call ourselves African Americans today. This is why we call ourselves Puerto Ricans today, Haitians and Jamaicans, Mexicans, right? All these names were names that was given unto us by our slave masters from those that put us into captivity, right? But before that, before we went into the transatlantic slave trade, before the conquistadors came over here, we are the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? This is who we are. This is who we always have been prior to our oppressors stealing our identity. You know what I'm saying? So what we have to do in today's time, in 2024, is build back this nation, right? Because this nation is long lost and forgotten, right? There's many developing studies out there that people is trying to figure out who the 12 tribes are, who they are today, right? There's many theories out there because don't nobody truly understand who they are today, right? But what we did here in the Isupk is go into the records called the Bible, and we was able to decode all the truths that's found in there. And we found out that blacks and Hispanics and indigenous people are the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? And once we come back to who we are and keeping the law, statute, commandments, guess what? We can get out of the condition that we in right now. We can get out of the situation that we in right now. But it starts with us loving each other and treating each other with some form of decency. You know what I'm saying? Like your oppressor understands this, right? He knows by keeping us divided, by keeping conflict amongst each other, is how we're unable to stand as a nation. You know what I'm saying? Don't they have the motto that goes united we stand, divided we fall? Right? If you want to destroy anything, you got to make sure that you keep people separated. Right? There is strength in numbers. You know what I'm saying? And we have to unite all Blacks, Hispanics, and Indigenous people so that way we can better our situation. Right? And by this verse is the foundation of us doing that. All right. So Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. And also, if anybody is able to click the live stream, if you want to read for your brother, you know what I mean? Any troopers, any 50s, any 500s, thousands, 5,000s, or whatever, you know what I mean? But you want to click the link, you know what I mean? All right, so Matthew chapter 18, and we're going to start at verse 15, all right? So Matthew 18 and 15, it reads, moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, right? Meaning you have an issue with a brother, right? Now it's mentioning this in a masculine tense, but this easily could be applied to sisters as well too, right? If you have an issue with your sister or brother, this is how you handle that issue. All right. Hey, Officer Nawanya Allah, what's going on, priest?
Shalom, y'all, Bashim, y'all, Shabrakatah.
Yeah, how about you? Y'all about the thumb, man. The water for hopping on. Appreciate that. Most High in Christ. I don't know if you got it already, but I'm in Matthew 18 and 15.
Come, I'll get it.
I appreciate that.
Matthew 18, verse 15. I'm sorry, Matthew 18, chapter. Damn.
Now you good.
Matthew 18 and 15. Mm-hmm. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
Read that last part one more time.
Go and tell.
Mm-hmm.
Come. Go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
All right. This is what Christ instructed us in fixing the differences amongst each other as Blacks, Hispanics, and Indigenous people. Right? This is the foundation of us actually liberating ourselves as a people. Right? There's many talks out there that people is trying to put their own viewpoints and their own inputs on how could we liberate Black people, right? And the Hispanics and Indigenous people. How could we better their conditions? How could we better their situation? I know y'all see the news that's going on, right? Right? There's still a border crisis, right? The people in Haiti are going ballistic out there. You know, it's nothing but chaos in the island of Haiti, right? We have all this conflict amongst each other, right? Is because we don't want to stand on this main principle right here, right? Each time we have an issue with each other, this is how we resolve it, right? Christ instructed us that we go to him or her alone, right? Meaning when the issue is brought up, pull the person to the side, only you and that person alone, and speak to them direct about the issue. No need to broadcast it. No need to tell another person that you're going to speak to this person alone. For sure, no need to go to the internet about it. All right? No need to gossip about it. No need to do none of those things. All right? The easiest way to resolve an issue is to go to that person between you and them alone. All right. And oftentimes, just by simply doing that, by taking that step, guess what? The issue can get resolved right then and there. right? Being emotional about the situation and blasting the situation and making it bigger and blowing it out of proportion is only going to add more fuel to the fire. You get what I'm saying? It's not going to be like that little matter that could have easily been squashed right then and there is not going to be easily so squashed when it becomes so big and grow out of control just because you didn't want to go to them and them alone, right? You felt weak about it or you feel tried about it, when really that is the strong and honorable thing to do, right? Like, think about it. Like these young youths, and a lot of, not just the young youths, but a lot of adults and everybody out there who's has issues and all of that. You know what I mean? A lot of time, not to look like a punk. Now, not of course, this is not every instance, but for the most case, for the most part, right? Not to look like a punk, right? They all, people want to resort to violence as the only solution or as the number one solution, right? Making sure that they are the first one to react violently. So that way people can put respect on their name, or they get some type of credit or some type of rep. You know what I mean? When really that is the weak route to go. That is the emotional route to go. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that really has integrity and guts about themselves will go to that person directly and look them in the eyes and work out their grievances. You know what I'm saying? That takes a lot of courage to do, rather than just, hiding behind a gun or just always resorting to violence. You know what I'm saying? The courageous thing to do is to go to that person between you and them alone. All right. If you couldn't, one y'all continue on.
Another one come. It's like, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
Mm-hmm.
If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother.
Thou has what?
Thou hast gained thy brother.
Right. What does it mean when it says thou has gained thy brother? I mean, my fault. Let's start up a little bit above that. Where it says, if he shall hear thee, what does it mean when it says, if he shall hear thee?
So like it.
Go ahead.
If he agree with you, if you come to him about a situation, y'all have like a disagreement or something,
Mm-hmm.
and he presents your cause or whatever, and he understand where you coming from, and y'all on the same accord with it. He just heard you.
Right. Meaning it's resolved. Right.
Another one come.
Meaning, like exactly how Austin Wanyala said. You know what I mean? You go to this brother or sister about the issue, and y'all able to work it out as y'all discussing this grievance with each other. You know what I'm saying? By doing that is how you're able to gain a brother, gain a sister, meaning maintaining this brotherhood and maintaining this sisterhood. This is how you maintain it. All right? You maintain it by not always relying on your emotions and your own feelings, but always relying on what Christ said for us to do. And by this verse alone is how we're going to be able to build back a better community for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You know what I'm saying? Of course, your oppressor doesn't understand this, right? When Christ was saying, go to thy brother and him alone, he's not talking about your oppressor or any other nation. Like, this is directly for Israelites. You know what I'm saying? This is something that we need the most amongst each other. I mean, our oppressor, he gets all the love on this earth. I mean, we risked our lives, you know what I'm saying, during the 1960s and prior to that, just to please this oppressor, to get him to love us. So we need to take it a step further for our brothers and sisters, man. You know what I mean? We have to wipe off this oppressive mindset. You know what I'm saying? This slavery mindset that our slave masters put on us. You know what I'm saying? And start brand new. and start loving each other again. Far greater than we can display to America, you know what I'm saying, or to our enemies. I mean, damn, imagine if we did for each other what we did in the 1960s. You know what I mean? Imagine if we did that for each other, right? Think how great we would be as a community, as a nation. Just think about it. If we said the hell with trying to get hit in the head with a baton and get holes sprayed on us and dogs sick on us just so we can eat in their restaurant, and decided to go to a black man restaurant or a Native Indian restaurant or Hispanic restaurant, you know what I mean, we would have been far greater economically and as a people than we in today. All right. These things we need to exercise exclusively only for each other. Right? That's the only way we're going to find success. The only way. Right? Not only should we not eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, not only should we keep the Sabbath holy, not only should we follow and keep all the high holy days, we should also practice morals and good character. All right? So let's drop that. And anything you want to add to Nawanya Allah, feel free to do so.
Come on, sir.
All right. You can drop that. Let me get something I want to grab real quick. Let me get if you can look up something, if you're able to look up something for me, also Nawanya Allah.
Come on, I could look it up, but I wouldn't be able to screen share it.
Okay, nah, it's Tawab. If you're able to just read it off, that'll be Tawab. If you could look up intergenerational trauma.
Okay.
All right, if you can look that up real quick.
You want me to is there a specific article you want me to read, or?
Not necessarily. As soon as you type it in, it should just, you know how right on the top of the web page,
Yeah,
like the first thing that's displayed. If you can just read off that, just to get a summary of what that is. Right now, this is something that's actually a known study, right? A study that was done by the America Psychological Association, right? This is what they actually studied and confirmed to be true. All right. If you can read that. And they based this study, get this, y'all, they based this study off of what happened during the Holocaust. Right? Because of course nobody else cares about the trauma of Blacks, Hispanics, and Indigenous people. Right? They only care about, their own trauma. Right? And they did a study on the Holocaust survivors and the descendants of the Holocaust, right? And they was able to come up with this psychological conclusion. All right, so you go ahead and read that word.
Another one, gone. Intergenerational trauma occurs when the effects of trauma are passed down between generations.
When the effects of what?
Of trauma are passed down between generations.
When the effects of trauma are passed down through generations, right? This is something that actually happens. This is a actual study, you know what I'm saying, by doctors of what's going on, right, with certain demographics, right? And they understand that trauma can be passed down through your genetics, right? Trauma can be passed down, meaning the experiences of your forefathers or your ancestors and the traumatic experience that they had to endure and went through can be passed down and given unto their descendants, right? Oftentimes, this is why you find us behaving the way that we behave as a people, right? They love to push the narrative as if, Black people are inherently violent, which is far from the truth. You know what I mean? you understand anything about us as a people, you know what I mean, we are the most peaceful people on this earth, right? But they often push this narrative that's, of course, is nothing but white supremacy, but they often push this narrative either displayed through the movies, through the music, or any other form of entertainment, you know what I mean, that black people are some sort of some violent, uncivilized type of people. You know what I mean? When often most of these things that we're doing, you know what I'm saying, is a trauma response. You get what I'm saying? Like, we walk around triggered all day, right? Because something has been done unto us that we never was able to get justice for. You get what I'm saying? Y'all with me?
Another one, sir.
Right. Something happened to us, right? That we never got any, we never got any justice, right? Now we're walking around with this trauma, with this load on our shoulder, you know what I'm saying, ready to react to whatever, ready to respond to whatever. And you don't even understand why. Right? Read that definition one more time again for me, also no one y'all.
Intergenerational trauma occurs when the effects of trauma are passed down between generations.
Mm-hmm.
This can occur if a parent experienced abuse as a child or adverse childhood experiences.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, this is something that your great grandfather experienced. Guess what? They're gonna pass it down to their children, and their children is gonna pass it down to their children, and their children is gonna pass it down to their children, and so forth and so on. Right? It just continue to go down the line. Right? Now, here's the kicker. Here's the thing. Now, this is a actual study, right? But nobody will actually put this study or classify it for the issues amongst the black community. You got to understand, black people have experienced a crazy amount of trauma here in America, even outside of America. Right? The things that we've been through, no other nation has been through what we've been through. No other nation has been in slavery. No other nation has their identity wiped and stripped away from them. No other nation has their language, their land taken away from them, except for blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people. Now, in the midst of all of that, how do you expect us to conduct ourselves as a people when we never got gotten back what was taken from us? You get what I'm saying? Like, how do you expect us to, move with a level head, you know what I mean, and not be ready to go, crash out on somebody when the things that happened to us, right, we was never justified for it.
So, like,
Go ahead.
we never got any rehabilitation for what happened to us and the people that came before us.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, they try to make it seem like, we should just get over it. That's what they always tell us. You know what I mean? Just get over it. You know what I mean? But guess what? The trauma and the pain that we constantly express day in and day out, how can we get over it when it's stuck in our DNA? It's in our genes to feel how we feel. And I'm not saying it. The APA is saying it. All right? So that's one thing that we have to understand. What should we do to heal this trauma? What should we do to heal this pain? What should we do? Somebody answer this question for me, right? I see who that. Trooper Kaz on here. Shalom, Yabashim Shokata. See what Trooper Kaz?
Shalom, Yabashim Shokata, sir.
Hey, what's going on? Good to hear from you, soldier.
Thank you, sir.
Damn right. So what should we do, y'all? If anybody that can answer me this, right? What should we do in order to heal this trauma, right? Because the thing is, right, like the analogy Christ gave when he was speaking about the parable, and I'm paraphrasing, speaking about the parable of, I think his name was Lazarus, right? The poor man that died at the rich man gate, right? And prior to his death, the Lazarus suffered from all type of ailments and soreness and stuff like that, right? And it mentioned, right, when Christ was given a parable, that dogs will come and lick the sores off of this poor man, right, just to ease him just for a little bit, right? But it never gave him a long-term or a permanent solution to the suffering that he was going through, right? And that analogy could easily be placed into what we're going through today, right? We are the people that's on the bottom. We are the one that's suffering in wealth inequality, right? We're the ones that's suffering in high percentage of poverty, right? Instead of finding the permanent and the long-term solution, right, we depend on the dogs to lick our sores, meaning we'll rely on drugs and, getting high and alcoholism to ease this pain and ease this trauma, right? When none of that gives you an actual permanent solution, right? There's only but one way for us to find a permanent solution to this trauma and to this pain. All right. I do see some answers. It says, then we're treated like we're the problems to society because of things they did to us, healing and justice of our pain and suffering. I got you also, y'all. Let me just read this comment real quick. Trooper Mashah said it's to turn back to this Bible, which is our blueprint. Damn right, Trooper Mashah. What you had also, y'all?
I was gonna say basically the same thing. We should come back and serve the Lord, and He would, and He would heal us. Like if I can I pull this precept real quick, sir?
Go ahead. So do you got it?
Psalms 147:3. He healeth the broken in heart, and bindeth up their wounds.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? This is something that our God is able to do for us. Right? This is something that we need desperately as a nation. Nobody else fit these prophecies, these punishments that's written in Deuteronomy 28, but so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people. I mean, we fit it to the T. So in this punishment and this suffering and pain that we go through, we're going to need a solution. And the only means to our salvation is us turning back to God, following the instructions that Christ laid down. Instead of doing it our way, or hell, doing it the way of our oppressor, which is far more worse. You know what I'm saying? Which is the only way we've been doing it, Salakia. You know what I'm saying? Doing it the way our oppressor been telling us to do it. You know what I mean? This is going to put us further in a detrimental state. You know what I mean? We have to do it the way our King Yahushua told us to do it. All right, let me get John chapter 3 real quick. And that page that you have, Officer Nwanyala, does it tell you how to heal the intergenerational trauma?
It only got a little bit more left on it. And it says second. Oh, come.
No, you got it.
Come. I say second, and the cycle of trauma and abuse impacts their parenting. That's all that's left.
Right, right. Don't ever let anybody tell you that how you feel is invalid as a people, right? Don't let nobody invalidate how you feel, because they didn't go through what you've been through, right? They'll always put the claim that you're just trying to be a victim, when that's far from the truth. Anybody, I don't care what it is, anybody that suffered any type of traumatic experience, understands the only way to get through that experience is by being vindicated for it.
Right.
That's the only way. You don't get no justice behind your traumatic experience. It's going to replay in your mind over and over and over again. The only way you're going to start to begin to heal or to get any sense of relief if the person that caused the trauma or caused the harm paid for the harm and trauma that they caused. This is how it goes. All right. So for us to, as a people, for us to move on, somebody has to pay.
Right.
You understand?
It's a lot.
Let me go ahead, soldier.
Like it, sir. But I was gonna say, like, I know Christians and the oppressor. When you read the scriptures, you see what happened to Egypt for what they done to the children of Israel, and you see the Lord just saving us from all these captivities that we've been in and destroying our enemies and stuff. But they think this is the only nation, the first nation to go escape the wrath of God. Like it just don't make sense to me.
Right, God. Nah, that's heavy, soldier. That's right on point. Like, it makes no sense. I mean, all these other great empires that existed in ancient times, you know what I'm saying, and all of them fell due to enslaving God's people. What makes you think America is any different? All right. At that time, Egypt was a superpower to the known world at that time. And I can guarantee you, at that present time, nobody expected Egypt to be destroyed. I can guarantee it. Everybody can guarantee, because nothing new under the sun, everybody thought that Egypt would have lasted forever. But guess what happened? God destroyed Egypt. And not just Egypt, he also destroyed Greece. He also destroyed Rome, Babylon, all the other empires that existed throughout the world history. Well, guess who's up next? Guess who's the superpower that's in control right now that enslaved his people? Right? That is the country that you're living in right now. Right? That the Bible refers to as Babylon. Right? This is the place that's talked about in Revelation that God destroys at the end, the beast that God destroys at the end. It's talking about America. All right? So what we have to do is prepare ourselves as a nation, gather ourselves together, O nation not desired. And this is how we gather together, right? Follow the instructions of Jesus Christ, right? Who the world calls Jesus Christ, right? But his Hebrew name is Yahushua Mashiach, his real name, right? If I can get John chapter 3, if you can give me that trooper of cause and start me at verse 3. If you're able to read.
Conor, you said 1 John or John chapter 3, sir?
John chapter 3, St. John. 3 verse 3.
Conor, John chapter 3, verse 3. Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God.
What does this mean? What is Christ even speaking about? How does this make any sense at all? All right. Christ is saying that except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Can somebody explain this to me? As to what is he talking about? All right. This is the tool to our healing, right? Go ahead. Anybody got that? What does he mean by this?
Lucky, if you could read that again, Baba Kasha.
You want to read it again for him, Trooper Cos?
Kind of a concert.
Go ahead.
John chapter 3, verse 3. Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God.
All right. What does that mean? What does it mean to be born again? What is he trying to tell us to do?
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
To come back to these laws, statutes, and these commandments, sir.
True. Yeah. But
Uh,
more, give me more in context of what he's speaking about, and then I'll let you try out in the one, y'all.
Like you, Salaki, sir. You can't be like your old self. You gotta be a new person. Like you gotta be able to put it in that all black. You know what I'm saying?
I like
Learn,
that
shed yourself from the world.
Yeah, I like that better. What you had off in the one, y'all?
I was gonna say pretty much the same thing. You had to be born again because the way you was living is a sinful life. So you need to be born again. You need a clean slate.
Thank you. No, I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Go. Oh, you need a clean slate to see the kingdom of God, unless you wouldn't be able to be let in because you a sinner.
Right. This is what we needed. Listen, we need to start from scratch. You know what I'm saying? Big up to both of y'all brothers, man. That's exactly right. All right. We need to start from scratch. All right. We need to become brand new, meaning all of that pain, all of that trauma, all of that experience that you went through, all the behavior flaws you was taught to expose yourself to and exercise. You need to start all over. Wipe that away and start all over. Right? Christ said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Now, of course, somebody that's born again is not talking about a physical birth, right? You can't climb back into your mother's womb, right? And then try to, be pressed out again, right? And be born again, right? This is something that's more so talking about a spiritual birth, right? You're still in the same physical body, but your spirit becomes brand new. You're giving birth to a Holy Spirit, right? Not to sound, too Christian on y'all, but you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to, convey, right? So y'all can understand, right? Holy Spirit simply means a separate spirit, right? A spirit that's different from what you've been normally taught to do, right? It's normal for us to, it's normal teaching for us to act out irrational. It's normal for us to be, the gangsters. It's normal for us, or at least they make it seem to be. It's normal for us to be, selling drugs to one another. It's normal for us to cuss each other out and fill our mind with nothing but drama. All right, everything that's depicted about us, right? They try to take our negative characteristics and make it black culture, when half of that is not black culture. The violence that we exhibit towards one another is not black culture at all. There's nothing black about it. You know where it comes from? Who can help me out? Where does where does it come from? These negative viewpoints of black people. Where does it come from? Go ahead.
The white man, sir.
Right. This is who we learning from. If somebody can grab me the verse, I think it's in Exodus 18 and 26. I'm paraphrasing, where it says that you don't do these things because the other nations do these things. All right, where the Lord commanded us not to do certain things because other people was doing them. All right. Our issue in our behavior in our community is not something that's inherently within us, but it's something that's more so that we've been taught as a people or programmed to believe. And from a youth on up, you only been taught a one-track mind. You only been taught to think one way, to do things a certain way, to act a certain way, to speak a certain way. Right? All of these things you've been programmed to behave like. Well, Christ is saying to wipe all of that away. All of that away. All the things that you think you know, guess what? You don't know nothing at all. So it's better for you to be born again. And once you become born, think about it like this. When a baby is born, does the baby name itself when it's born?
No.
Right? Who teaches the baby its name?
The mother and father.
Right. When a baby is born, does it come out speaking a full language already?
Nah.
Who teaches the baby to speak?
The mother and father.
Right? When the baby comes out, does it come out fully clothed? Does it know that it has to be dressed when it comes out the mother womb? Well, who teaches the baby how to dress themselves?
The mother and father.
There you have it, right? So even as an adult, when we become born again spiritually, well, guess what? Somebody's going to teach us how to speak again. Somebody's going to have to teach us what to wear again. And somebody's going to have to teach us our new name, or if you get a Hebrew name, again. And as a child, it's more accepting because those things that your parents are teaching you, it's new, right? It's something that you can't do for yourself. So you need somebody else to do it for you. Somebody that's better equipped to do it for you. And as a child, you think a child is saying when it first come out the mother's womb, you think it's saying back to the parents, nah, I don't think my name should be this. I think you should call me that. Nah, whatever name the parents give that child, they have no choice but to accept that to be their name, right? When the baby comes out the womb, you think the baby is like, nah, I don't think I'm aware of that. Nah, I'll just, I'm comfortable with how I came out, and I'm gonna be naked as a baby.
Love.
No, right? And the only reason I'm using this example, I'm just trying to let you know the level of humility that you have to be in order to be born again. You have to accept the fact that you have to be taught your language again. You have to be taught how to speak again. You have to accept the fact that you have to be taught your name again or how to dress again, because the way you're doing it now is not working for you. You have to be taught how to behave as a nation again, how to have character, how to have a good ethics about yourself, how to have good conduct about yourself. All these things you have to be humble enough to accept, so that way you can become brand new. All right, somebody got that real quick in Exodus, and I see Trooper Mashal put a precept there, and I'm gonna grab that next, Trooper Mashal. If somebody can get the Exodus, John, that I call real quick.
You said,
Salaki, sir, you said
your phone breaking up, so
You said Exodus 18.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's in Exodus 18 where it says all the other nations done this, so don't do the same thing or something like that. And it comes after the Lord gave us the commandment of, I think, not shape or being a homosexual or something like that.
I think that's in
After he, go ahead.
I think that's in Leviticus, right?
Is it Leviticus?
Yeah, I think that's Leviticus like 21 or something. Where they say your blood shall be upon you, that one?
Right. But after that, he says, don't do these things because the nation before you was doing this. You know what I'm talking about?
Nah.
Yeah, it should be Leviticus probably. 18.
Let me see.
Or if you put it, or if you put it in the Google machine, it should pop up.
Okay, well, you can paraphrase it, Baba Kasha.
He said, all the other nations before this was done on, this is what they did, so don't do the same. I'm paraphrasing, something like that. If man, I mean, I can pull it up, but
Salaki, sir.
mm-hmm.
Are you referred to Deuteronomy 18:9?
What
Or
that
is that
say?
the wrong thing?
What that say?
1 second, sir. Deuteronomy 18:9. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God given thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations.
Okay, yeah. Read that one more time.
Deuteronomy 18:9.
Mm-hmm.
When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God given thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations.
Right. You know what I mean? This is what the Lord commanded us. The one I was thinking about is Leviticus 20 and 23. But yeah, this is a good precept right here. Right? He understands that the things that we do oftentimes as a people is learned behavior or something that we've been programmed as a child up to do, to behave like. Right? And the Lord is commanding us not to follow their way of living, the way they conduct themselves, the way they treat each other. We should not try to program or pattern ourselves after the way they do things, but we should go back and find out how we did things prior to slavery. Find out how our ancestors did things. Something that resonates with us, that caters to us as a people. Because nothing that they do benefits us as a people. So it's best for us to start from scratch and find out the source. Find out what are we supposed to do and how we supposed to conduct ourselves. All right. Any more on that, True Cause?
A lot, sir.
All right. Let me get Hebrews 5 and 12 real quick.
Hebrews 5 and 12.
Khan, Baba Kashar.
Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12. For the time you ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God.
Right. This is a perfect preset. Oscar Zach pulled this all the time, right? Every class, if I'm not mistaken, he's pulling this precept, right? Letting you know that all the things that you thought you knew, guess what? You're going to have to be retaught again. Because everything that you've been taught and that you learned is backwards. It's all a lie. From us being inherently violent, from the stats of black on black crime, from all this criminal behavior that we see, it's all a lie. It's a myth. And it's something that's been taught unto us by our oppressor. So what we need to do, we need to be retaught again. We need to relearn our own culture. All right? This is how you become born again. Any more on that?
Kind of with Khan, sir.
Go ahead.
And are become such of need, have need of milk, and now strong meat.
Mm-hmm. Need of milk and not a strong meat. What is that talking about?
Oh, so like sir, like instead of like wanting like to learn like this and that, like man, like the 7 miracles of the world or this and that, like come and learn like the basic stuff, like what got you, you know what I'm saying, like in the truth, like man, like Christ is a black man. You know what I'm saying?
God.
Like man, you the real Jews.
Right. Khan. That's a good way to put it. What you gonna say, Officer No One, y'all?
Come, I was gonna say like the milk, like what I just said, like Christ is black. Learn about chariots is the operational vehicles of the Lord. You don't need the me right now. You don't need to know how Adam communicated with God through the stars and stuff like that. You don't need to know the breakdown of Revelation 22 about how about the tree of life and the stars and stuff like that. Guys, you don't need all that right now. Take the basics, as I said, and start off with that.
Facts. Y'all brothers is exactly right. You know what I mean? Even what Trooper Mashad says, it's a lot, sir, just like you said earlier about the baby. Right? You want to start out with the basics. Start with the beginning. Right? There's many, many mysteries in the Bible. And guess what? The ICPK decoded all of them. You know what I mean? But the most important thing that we want to start out with as our foundation is what? What was the first scripture that we pulled in today's class?
So like I wasn't there for that, but something to do with brotherhood, sir.
It definitely does have to do with brotherhood. Who can remember?
It's like I was in the class. I came in class when you.
Oh, okay. Nobody. No sweat. But yeah, Matthew 18 and 15, if I'm not mistaken.
Right? But that was the first scripture you pulled?
Yeah, that was yeah. Matter of fact, you read for me.
I
yeah, no sweat. Yeah, God, you know what I mean? That is the foundation. That's where you want to start at. Brotherhood. Loving that brother as thyself. Right? Learning how to become a better person. Learning how to polish your character. Right? To grow greater in integrity. Right? To grow greater in honesty. To grow greater in patience. These are the things that we need to exercise so that way we can rebuild this nation. You know what I mean? And the foundation starts with brotherhood. And then later on, guess what? You'll be able, once you get the foundation nice and solid, guess what? Later on, you'll be able to build upon that. Then from there, you can, add the meat, add the steak, add the burger. But as a newborn, you're not eating a steak. You give a newborn a steak, guess what's going to happen to that newborn? Yeah, he might, that might be the end of that baby's life. You know what I mean? That's too rough or too tough for that baby to chew on. You know what I mean? They didn't develop their teeth and a strong enough jaw to chew down on that steak. You know what I mean? So you're going to have to give them something that they're able to digest. All right? And starting out for us becoming brand new, let's start with the basics. The easy thing that we can get for us to digest. All right? And we can build upon that. All right, let's drop that. Let's get Mark 12 and 29.
Come.
Mark 12 and 29.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 12, verse 29. Chapter 12, verse 29. And Jesus answered him, the first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment.
All right, that's kind of easy to understand, right?
Come.
All right, this is the basics. This is what we should start out with, right? And if you understand the context of what Christ is responding back to, these are the Pharisees trying to convict Christ of saying something that's against the law, but through Christ's craftiness, he know how to answer and battle them. But they're trying to ask him, what is the greatest commandments? Like, what is the greatest thing that we must follow in order to serve God? In order for us to become brand new, where do we start at? And Christ started out with this: to love the Lord with all thy heart, all thy mind, all thy soul, and all thy strength. That means to keep the commandments, do what he tells you to do through your actions. That's how you show that you love God. Right? Read on.
Verse 31. And the second is light.
And the second is what?
Is light.
And the second is what?
Light is light.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Like it.
Go ahead.
And the second is damn near the same. It's similar.
It's the same damn thing as the first, right? What he's about to say is the same as the first, meaning there you can't do one without the other.
Right.
They both go hand in hand, right? Read on.
Come. Namely this: thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these.
Guess what? You start out with this, you basically keeping all the commandments. You get what I'm saying?
Come.
You start out with this as your foundation. Guess what? We'll rule this earth overnight. If we can actually practice a good system of morals as a people, guess what? The ghetto will transform overnight. The barrio, the reservations will transform overnight. It starts with this: loving your brother as yourself. Simple as that. Meaning, whatever you don't want done unto you, make sure you don't do it to nobody else. All right? That's simple enough. Think about it. Since the youth, we've been taught this. Right? When you were as a kid, they often tell you, right? Treat others how you want to be treated. So this is something that you should understand, right? If you want to serve God, or you want to show that you actually love God, it's only displayed on how you treat each other. Because they both go hand in hand. You want to see a person that actually loves God? Well, view them on how they treat their brothers and sisters. And you know whether or not this person actually loves God. You understand what I'm saying?
Come
All
on,
right. Got me? You with me? Y'all with me?
come.
All right. We can drop that. All right. And let me get... what should I want? What do I want? Let me get... What do I want? Let me get some examples on how to behave yourself, right? Let me get some examples on that.
So
Let
like
me
it.
get... Uh-huh.
Now I was thinking of Ecclesiastes 12:15, the duty of man. Would that be one?
The duty of man. Yeah, that's a good precept.
You want me to read it, sir?
So, Khan, you can read that. Talking about Ecclesiastes 12.
The one come.
Khan, you got that.
Ecclesiastes 12:13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. For this is the duty, like for this is the whole duty of man.
Mm-hmm. Right. You know what I mean? This is the whole duty of man. Christ already laid down the foundation on what is the two greatest commandments that we must keep. And he made sure that we understood as a nation, the only way for us to get out of the condition that we in, we must treat each other with some form of decency. We must do that. And doing so, guess what's going to bring us closer to God? Loving your brothers and sisters was going to bring you closer to God. Right? Trooper Aman Bayaf asks a great question, right? Let me read it real quick. He says, Salaki, sir, what if someone doesn't love themselves to love their brother? Right? If somebody don't love themselves enough, right? And this is kind of what we're speaking on in the class, right? That usually often happens because of, how he been programmed to view himself. And this is why we have what we see today in our communities, right? What we do oftentimes to each other, it's something that we don't even think twice to do it to any other nation. You get what I'm saying? Like, of our people, unfortunately, through the brainwashing and the programming of white supremacy, sometimes we be pushed to act out on each other or crash out on each other more so than if another nation were to do us wrong. You know what I mean? And that's because we've been taught to hate ourselves. We've been taught to hate ourselves. Through trauma and through the pain of what we've been through in America, we're pushed to hate ourselves, man. And the only way, all right, and let me keep up with you, Trooper Amar, right? How do they learn to love themselves? The only way you're going to learn to love yourself is by learning who to hate. All right? Not knowing who to place the blame on oftentimes cause us to blame ourselves. You understand what I'm saying, True Amar? because we're taught that we shouldn't have hate in our heart, that is wrong to hate. When the Bible teaches you that there is a time to hate, our love gets misplaced. You understand what I'm saying? We don't understand how to actually express love to one another because we don't know how to properly express hate towards other nations of people. You understand what I'm saying? We have to be taught who the enemy is. We have to be taught to hate, if I could put it in that word. We're gonna have to be taught that. It's okay to hate. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to have aggression. It's okay to be upset. All these things we need to be taught in order to begin the healing process. And if we're taught the people that cause the trauma to hate ourselves, if we're taught on who the people that cause us the pain to look at ourselves as less than, if we're actually taught who the people were who taught us to mistreat each other, then from there, we'll learn to actually hate that people rather than hating ourselves. And that can heal us. If I'm not mistaken, in the intergenerational definition that it gave in Google that you read earlier, Officer Nwanyala, if I'm not mistaken, it gives you what to do to heal the generational trauma. Like if you scroll down a bit, it has the little questionnaires in the middle of the web page. And if I'm not mistaken, one of them is how to heal the intergenerational joint. But if you're able to find it, there's, if you can grab it. But if not, it's too wild. But to answer your question, Trooper Mabaya, you know what I mean? We have to be taught who the enemy is and who to properly hate. You know what I mean? And we have to actually understand that it is okay to hate. In return, we're going to gain more love for ourselves by rejecting that type of people, by rejecting their lifestyle, by rejecting their ways, by learning to hate their ways. And what they did unto us is how we rebuild our self-esteem, how we rebuild our love for one another. And once you come back to self and learning to love yourself, guess what? That will teach you not to harm the next black man, not to treat the next black man with disrespect, not to sell drugs to the next black man, not to shoot the next black man. You know what I mean? Because we understand who to love and who to hate. Right? Is it on there on the webpage, Trooper? So like, I didn't mean to call you Trooper. Also, the one y'all.
When I scroll down, I don't see how to heal, but I can search it up.
All right, yeah, if you're able to search it up, I mean, how to heal generational trauma, how to, you know what I'm saying, like.
Yeah, I got it right here.
What did that say?
It got 5, I guess, steps you could do to heal it. It say, number 1, learning how to identify, acknowledge, and accept your trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Practicing mindfulness and meditation.
All right. Let me first start with the first one that you read off, right? Learning how to identify your trauma, right? The root of our trauma as a people, I'm here to tell you, black people and Hispanics and Native Indians, is white supremacy. That's the root of our issue, right? We oftentimes, when we have the discussion of what's the problem within our communities, we always bypass what our oppressor did unto us. We'll never put any blame towards white America. We shouldn't be afraid to do so, or should we feel guilty in doing it? It's not a victim mentality. It's beginning the process of healing yourself. We have to identify the root of our trauma. We have to. If we want to heal ourselves, we have to do so. And the root of our trauma is our oppressors. Right? Read on.
Come. learning how to identify, acknowledge, and accept your trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Practicing mindfulness and meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Learning to set boundaries.
There you go. Learning to set boundaries. That's one thing we have not done as a people. All right. The scriptures say, "Why trimmest your ways to seek love?" For us, anything goes just to get love from them. Anything goes. We'll bleach our skin. We'll dye our hair. We'll do anything we need to do just to be accepted by them. We'll allow them to beat us, to spit on us, as long as we're loved by them. Imagine if we take that same energy and exercise amongst each other. Guess what? The crime rate will plummet overnight. That tells you our love is misplaced. It's misplaced. Because we don't know who to hate. We don't know who to blame. So we often blame each other. That's what we do. We blame each other. That's why when a black man kills another black man, what we say, there goes them niggas again. You know what I'm saying? Don't we say that as a people? There's a trend going on social media, right? I don't know if y'all keep up with all these bull crap, but it's all, it's my job to be on social media, so that's why I'm on it. But there's some trend going on where black people make confessions about things that they're scared of as black people, right? And there's some people in this trend, like a majority of the people in this trend, are saying that they're scared of hood black people or something like that. Like they don't like. You familiar with that trend?
Nah, I don't think I've ever seen that video.
Okay, guys. So there's people out there. I'm afraid of. As if there's a difference from being from the hood or any other way or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? But all of that is internalized hatred. You get what I'm saying? Like us as a black people, we love to, cause separation amongst each other by blaming us or blaming each other for the problems within our community. Now, do we have a hand in our downfall? Of course we do. You know what I mean? But don't nobody want to acknowledge the root of our trauma, the root of our issues. Don't nobody want to do that. But if we actually go to the root, you'll find out that the root of our issues is white America. Sorry to tell you, but it is. And if we learn to hate what they did unto us, we'll learn to love each other. Right? Any more on that examples of what they got on there?
One more.
Mm-hmm.
Communicating and finding support from others.
You said what?
Communicating and finding support from others.
Right. So there you go. I hope that answered your question. Trooper Armand Bayath. Hate your oppressor, don't hate yourself. Hate the beast, don't hate yourself. Blame him. It's not your fault, black people. All right. So let's get some examples of exercising good character, right? Let's get Ecclesiasticus 27:16. I ain't got much time, so I'm gonna try to grab a few examples of what we need to do, right, to exercise brotherhood.
27.
Yeah, 27:16.
Okay. Ecclesiasticus 27 verse 16. Whoso discovers secrets loses his credit.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never find friends of his mind.
He will never what?
Find friend to his mind.
Right. I mean, somebody who's loved to gossip. Right? What they spill the tea, I think. They, you know what I mean? Or the tea and all that stuff. Right? Instead of going to him and him alone or them and them alone, you gossip about it. Right? This is something that we shouldn't be doing if we're trying to build back our nation. Right? Read on.
Verse 17. Love thy friend and be faithful unto him.
Mm-hmm.
But if thou betrayest his secrets, follow no more after him.
Right. Because why?
Cause that's lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Cause that's wrong.
Right.
That's
Because what did you end up doing?
Say that again, sir.
Because what did you end up doing? As an example, I'm not saying you specifically, but in general, what did you end up doing?
Betray him.
Right. You betrayed them by what? Destroying the trust between each other.
Come.
You know what I mean? How do you expect to build a nation when there's no trust amongst each other? If you're a person that's constantly gossiping, right, you're only destroying the trust between a brother or a sister. And don't expect people to ever trust you again. Don't expect people to, believe you and want to be your friend or want to be, around you again. Because you're a person that constantly running their mouth and talking. I mean, that's somebody that can't be trusted. Right? Read on.
Come. Verse 18. For a man hath destroyed his enemy, so hast thou lost the love of thy neighbor.
Mm-hmm. Meaning you destroy the trust between each other. And don't expect y'all to have the same type of bond or connection that you had previously. Right? Read on.
Verse 19. As one that letteth a bird go out of his hand, so hast thou let thy neighbor go, and shalt not get him again.
Right. You know what I mean? This is how you break brotherhood. Read on.
Come. Verse 20. Follow after him no more, for he is too far off. He is
Mm-hmm.
as a like he is as a roe escaped out of the snare.
Right. Read on.
Come. As for a wound, it may be bound up, and after reviling, there may be reconcilement. But
Right.
he that betrayeth secrets is without hope.
Right. If there's a wound, there's possibility, there's a possibility that you can reconcile things if you have an issue with somebody. All you have to simply do is just go to them and them alone. Right? No matter how far off the issue is, it could be reconciled. The only way, like I mentioned in the beginning of the class, the only way it can be harder for you to reconcile the difference that you have between that brother or sister if you begin to gossip about it. If you begin to, discover each other's secrets, like in context of what the scripture is talking about. If you get to yapping online, spilling the beans, how do you expect somebody to forgive you after that? How do you expect somebody to trust you after that?
All
right? The issue you have between that person, go to them and them alone. And guess what? Squash it right then and there. Don't bring it back up. Take it to the grave. That's it. We had this issue, and that's that. It's not something that should be brought back again and whatever and all that just to stir up the pot again. Nah. Let it rest right then and there. Because that is the easy way to break brotherhood or sisterhood. Right? Read on.
Come, sir. He that winketh with the eyes worketh evil, and he that knoweth him will depart. When thou art present, he will speak sweetly and will admire thy words. But
Mm-hmm.
as he would writ with his mouth and slander thy sayings.
Right. You know what I mean? That's talking about being fake. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be that type of person, all right? If we could, for time's sake, right? Any more on that?
Um, blah.
All right, let's drop that. Let me get Ecclesiasticus 28 and 2.
Ecclesiasticus 28 verse 2. Forgive thy
Um, if I could, let me get the trooper to read, if you're able to, just to give him an opportunity to read. If you're able to, Trooper Kaz. If
So like,
not,
sir, what was
Ecclesiasticus 28 and 2.
that's in the apocrypha, right, sir?
Yeah.
I don't have the apocrypha, sir. So like,
Oh, okay, kind of. No sweat, no sweat. You got it off in the one, y'all.
Ecclesiasticus 28 verse 2. Forgive thy neighbor.
Do what?
Forgive thy neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Hurt. It's like forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he have done unto thee. So shall thy sins also be forgiven when thou prayest.
So shall what?
Thou sins also be forgiven when thou prayest.
When you pray, right? When you
Come,
pray, you expect God to forgive you, right? You ask God to forgive you for your sins, for the things that you did wrong. You hoping that He gives you a second chance. You hoping that He gives you a clean slate. Well, did not Christ say in Mark 12 and 29 to love the Lord with all thy heart, thy mind, and thy soul, and thy strength? And the second is like unto it, to love thy brother as thyself. Meaning you can't love the Lord if you don't love your brother or sister, because they both go hand in hand. So if you want the Lord to forgive you, guess what you got to do?
to
What you
forgive,
got to do? Uh-huh.
like to forgive somebody that trespass against you.
All right. Forgive your brothers and sisters. That's how it works. It goes hand in hand. Right? Go to him and him alone. Read on.
Verse 3. One man beareth hatred against another, and doth he seek pardon from the Lord.
All right.
He
You bear, right? The scriptures also said, before, I'm paraphrasing, before you bring your gift to the altar, reconcile with your brother first, and then bring your gift to the altar. Paraphrasing. All right. You expect the Lord to give you all type of blessings and forgive you and heal you and help you out. You know what I mean? But you ain't willing to do the same for the people that's right next to you. You ain't willing to forgive nobody. You hold grudges for years on out. 5 years, it's still replaying in your mind. You know why? Because you never went to them and them alone. That's why. You never thought to reconcile your differences, to resolve the issue. Maybe you thought it would have been weak or it would have been whack to do, and you want to show that you the big boss and you nothing to be played with. Yeah, you just played yourself. You know what I mean? And all of that will be exposed by God, man. All right, read on.
come out of one con, sir. He showeth no mercy to a man which is like himself, And though he asked for, it's like, and though he asked forgiveness of his own sins.
Right. And there's also another parable what Christ gave about the man that owed the king money, and the king forgave him. Right. And that same man seen somebody else that owed him money. And when he saw him, he pressed him and started beating him and put him in jail until he paid him back. And when the king found out, he got upset and put that servant in jail that put the other man in jail. Right? It's not, and that parable was used as an analogy of how we should conduct and treat each other. Right? If you want the Lord to forgive you, you have to forgive your brothers and sisters. You have to do the right protocol and going to them and them alone and trying to reconcile your differences. Right? Read on.
Come. If he that is but flesh nourish hatred, who will entreat for pardon of his sins?
You know what I mean? Who would entreat and pardon for them sins, right? You're just flesh. Right? God has the power to heal, kill, and destroy. You want the Lord to forgive you and heal you and help you and do everything for you? Well, guess what? You got to be the same for your brothers and sisters. Right? Read on.
Come, sir. Remember thy end, and let enmity cease. Remember corruption and death, and abide in the commandments.
Right. That's the level he's trying to convey, the level of humility that you're supposed to be in. Right? Read on.
Come. Remember the commandments, and bear no malice to thy neighbor.
And bear no what?
No malice to thy neighbor.
Right. What is malice? Somebody give me the definition of malice.
Malice, the intention or desire to do evil, ill will.
Right. Meaning premeditated. Right. As soon as you see the person, you thinking of something to do wrong to them. You thinking of something wrong to say to them. All right. This is something that the Lord has commanded us not to be. All right. Don't move with no malicious intent. Because guess what? Eventually, all of that is going to come right back to you. Now, I ain't talking about no karma, none of that bull crap. I ain't talking about that. The Bible says, whatever a man shall reap, that's what he shall also, no, whatever a man sows, that's what he shall also reap. What you put out is exactly what you're going to get right back to you. All right, read on.
Come. Abstain from strife and doubt. Wait, I ain't finished that other verse. Remember the covenants. Remember the commandments, and bear no malice to thy neighbor. Remember the covenant of the highest. Wink at ignorance.
Do what?
And wink at ignorance.
Wink at ignorance. What does that mean?
Like you.
Mm-hmm.
Let it slide.
You said what?
Like let it slide. Like
right, kind of like let it slide, let it ride. You know, don't keep score. You know what I mean? Like I mean, I think that's one of the they got a song like that or something like that. Up the score. You know what I mean? They got a song where they talking about, somebody do you wrong, you gotta up the score on them. You gotta do something worse towards them. Don't be like that, man. You know what I mean? Some things you can let slide. It's all right. You don't always have to get your, get it off. I mean, get your viewpoint across. It's all good. You want to be level-headed in every situation, even dealing with conflict amongst each other. And the best way to go about of being level-headed is going to them and them alone. Bringing other people in will only complicate the situation. You got people who love to instigate. You got people that love to hype stuff up. You got people that's gonna just be a yes man and agree with you and act like you ain't do nothing wrong. All right? Their problem is not with them. Your problem is with the other person. So you should go directly to that person and hash out your differences and go to nobody else. All right? Any more on that?
Verse 8.
What verse 8 say?
Abstain from strife, and thou shalt diminish thy sins. For a
Read that
fear
one more time.
come. Abstain from strife, and thou shalt diminish thy sins.
All right. Abstain from strife, and thou shalt diminish thy sins. What is strife? Can you give me the definition of strife, just in case anybody's familiar with strife is?
Strife, angry or bitter disagreement over fundamental issues, conflict.
Right. And that's something that, I'm sure most of us is familiar with. All right, when it comes to your favorite team, your favorite player, your favorite rap artist, whatever the case may be, some way, somehow, people, you love to find issue in it, right? Well, guess what? The Lord created us, everybody, with their own individual light. You know what I mean? Their own vibe. Some brothers or sisters like certain things. Some brothers and sisters don't like certain things, and they rock this way and they rock that way. All right, just because it's an opinion, don't make it fact. What you like, don't make it fact. You get what I'm saying? It's an opinion, and no reason should it ever cause for brothers and sisters to start hating each other. All right, no reason for it should be no need for that. Hell, you like it, I love it. Hey, we can end it at that. Oh, that's your favorite artist? Well, that's my favorite artist too. You know what I mean? Oh, that's your favorite team? Oh, fine, that's my favorite team too. And let's continue on to be brothers and sisters. All right, strife is what breaks up brotherhood and sisterhood. Right? Can I get a time check real quick?
8:57.
8:57.
Okay.
All right, let me get one more. Can I get in the Apocrypha where it says admonish a friend? In Ecclesiasticus, admonish.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Admonish a friend.
Ecclesiasticus 19, verse 13.
Okay. All right.
Admonish.
19. Go. No, my bad. You got to work so hard.
Ecclesiasticus 19 and 13. Admonish a friend. It may be he have not done it, and if he have done it, that he do it no more.
There you go, right? Let's get the definition of admonish. What is that? What should you do to a friend?
Admonish, warn or recommend someone firmly.
You should do what?
Warn or recommend someone firmly.
Right. You should go to them and them alone and hash out your grievance. Tell them your grievance. Tell them the issue. Admonish a friend. Because oftentimes it's not really that big of a deal. Or even sometimes they didn't even say it. It's just he say, she say. But you know, oftentimes people will run along with it rather than just going to that person, them and them alone. Admonish a friend. Correct a friend. Tell them your grievance. Tell them what the issue is. So that way things don't get blown out of proportion. Read on.
Admonish thy friend. It may be he have not said it, and if he have, that he speak it not again.
Right. So it may be just hearsay, see hearsay, or he say, she say, whatever the term is. You know what I mean? And just go to them, find out if it's true or not, and then y'all solve it right then and there. Right? Read on.
Admonish a friend, for many times it is a slander, and believe
For
not.
many times it's a what?
It is a slander.
It's not even true for the most part. Even how they feel about you, your perception of it might not even be true. Right? You know what I mean? Like sometimes we'll have a perception on somebody that, oh, this person hating on me, or they trying to shut me down. Oh, this person is fake. This person, da, 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 da. You'd even get an opportunity to even get to know the person, or even actually go to them and them alone and tell them what the issue is. Don't just go off of words, man. Speak to them direct. If that's truly your friend, if that's truly your brother, if that's truly your sister, right? Read on.
Come. There is one that slippeth in his speech, but not from his heart.
All right, there is one that slippeth in his speech, not in his heart. Don't take everything so egregious, like you know what I mean. Don't be so like after every little word that's spoken. Sometimes it's just a slip of the tongue. Maybe he or she didn't mean to say it. Maybe they didn't mean to say it in that type of tone or manner. Maybe they didn't mean any disrespect. Well, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with feeling as if you were disrespected. The wrong thing to do is to take what they said to you and take it as disrespect and use it just to hate on that person, or use it just to gossip about that person, rather than going to them and them alone. That's when it becomes an issue. It's okay to feel disrespected. It's all right. Just don't be emotional about it. Go to them and them alone and work it out. Be like, you know what you said earlier, I ain't like how you said it. Oh man, I ain't even mean it like that, man. I do apologize, man. Well, man, let me get you a drink. Let me get you. What could I do to make up? My bad, man. I didn't mean it like that. Boom, it's squash right there. But if you're the type of person that be like, man, this person disrespecting me, and you just playing it in your mind, you ain't say nothing at all. Guess what? After time, that disrespect that you took, or that perception of disrespect that you took in your mind, guess what? It's gonna build up. It's gonna build and build and build and build, and over time, the smallest thing that this person does is gonna bother you now. Now, all of that is gonna be blown out off of the smallest infraction, when it could have been solved months before. You know what I mean? If you're truly a brother or a sister, you want to go to them or them alone and not be so quick, you know what I mean, to take everything as disrespect. All right, read on.
Come. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Come, sir. And Salakia. But not from his heart. And who is he that have not offended with his tongue?
Guess what? Sometimes you might slipped up too. Don't act like you Mr., or Mrs., or whatever the case may be. Don't act like you goody two shoes and done everything, squeaky clean. Nah, you done slipped up sometimes too. And if somebody gave you the opportunity to make things right, man, you should pass that down to the next brother or sister, man. Don't be like that servant in the parable that Christ gave, that when it forgave his brother that owed him money after the king forgave them. Don't be like that, man. If somebody gives you grace, guess what? Pass it down to the next brother or sister, man. Don't forget how vile and wicked you are, or once was. All right, read on.
Come. Admonish thy neighbor before thou threaten him.
Admonish them before it gets to violence. Admonish them. Go to them and them alone. Read on.
Come. And not being angry.
Read on.
Give peace to the law of the Most High.
Right. Give place to the law of the Most High.
Place. Salakia.
Nah, that's all good word. You know what I mean? Give an opportunity for the laws of God to work. Because guess what? It does work. It works. You know what I mean? I can tell you. I'll tell you, man. And I'm talking about not just only in the truth, even outside of the truth. When you're dealing with people in the world, your brothers and sisters in the world, whatever issue it may be, I guarantee you'll gain a different level of respect from that brother or sister simply just by going to them and them alone. You know what I mean? They will respect you more by doing that. Nobody respects a person that's constantly bickering and running out the mouth and gossiping. Nobody respects a person like that. But if you actually exercise what Christ told us to do, guess what? You'll gain a brother. Like Christ said, you'll gain a brother. You'll gain a sister. You'll gain their respect. You'll gain their trust. And that way we can build this nation up. Right? Any more on that?
One.
Shit. All right. Anything you want to add else in the one, y'all?
Shit.
All right. With that, man, the water, everybody that hopped on the class, man, we're going to go ahead and end the class right there. Passover coming up. Passover, April 20th. North Carolina, Salaki, my bad. North Carolina, so make sure y'all in the building. Pay your Passover fee. Pay your tithes. Go to isupk.com to get all of that situated. You know what I mean? So that way you can be gain access to all the events that we got surrounding the Passover, all right? War as Usual is coming up right after this, y'all. War as Usual is the podcast. Me, myself, Officer Itazab and Officer Lapiyat will be on at 9:30 on War as Usual is the YouTube channel. So make sure you hop on over. Check us out every single Tuesday, man. We just talking about work topics around the world, man. So make sure you check us out. And with that, I'm gonna say shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Damn right.